I have to tell you about one time that I literally said to God, what now? Interesting things happen in our home. And Tom and I both sold our homes and bought a new one. We purchased it from a man by the name of Fred. He and his wife built this home. It was their dream home, and they lived in it for 2 years. And then Fred's wife got cancer, and she passed away. He left that home empty for 2 years, not bearing the thought of selling it. But I think that when we purchased that home from him, he had a special spot in his heart because Tom had also lost his wife to cancer. Well, Tom and I had lived in the house for 7 years, and I don't know if you do this in North Carolina, but in Michigan, with the season changes, every 6 months, we take our winter clothes and put them to the back of the closet and bring the, summer ones, and so it's this shift every 6 months. Well, Tom was off to work, the 4 kids were off to school, and I thought, okay, time to shift the clothes. So we have a walk-in closet, and I went in there and I was shifting clothes, and I'm trying to push them down. It's one of those rods. I'm trying to push the clothes down, and it would not budge. And I was getting really frustrated. So I put my hand up there, and I felt this little wad of something, and I pulled it out, and I unwound it, and it was 2 $10 bills. So what did I do? I put my hand up there to see if I could find any more. And sure enough, I did. And I'm dropping these wads, and I'm by myself. I'm laughing. It's like this only happens in the movies, and I'm just dropping this money on the floor. I get to the end of that rod. I plop myself down on the floor. I unwad all of this, and I am holding $800. I run to the phone. I call my husband. I said, you can't believe what I just found in our closet. And I said, but what now? What do we do with it? And the reason I said that was because Fred had died. But his daughter Judy lived 2 streets over. And I said, does the money go to her? Or is this God's gift to us because we're refinishing the basement and don't even know how we're going to afford it? What now? What do we do? Tom said, well, you know what? Your dad is a very godly man. Call him and ask him. But when you hang up, the first thing I want you to do is go check all the closets. So I checked all the closets, and I didn't find any more money, and I called my dad, and I said, Dad, I just found this money. What do I do? Da-da-da-da. And he said, well, by law, when you purchase a home, the home and all of its contents belong to you. But you're going to have to take this to God. Because what if somebody bought our home and we had money hidden? Would you want them to let you know? He said, I can't answer this for you. And I hung up the phone and thought, oh, man, I don't want to pray about this. I just want the money. But I went to my Bible and, just kept looking and seeking and saying, Lord, let me know specifically. And I know some of you have had this happen where all of a sudden it's like something in the Bible is like neon lights. So I'm reading in Hebrews 13:5, and it says, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. I knew that I had to give that money to Judy. But at the same time, again, God didn't speak in my ears, but in the quietness of that moment, he spoke in my heart and said, wait, I will tell you when to go. I said, okay, you tell me when that now is. A week later, I'm sitting by Tom watching a football game, and all of a sudden, it was like a bolt of lightning hit me, and God said, go now. Now. I jumped up off the couch. I ran. I got that big bundle of bills. I put it in my pocket, and I said to Tom, I'm going to Judy's house. I got there. I knocked on the door, and she came to the door, and I could tell she had been crying. I said, Judy, could I come in? She said, sure. She led me to a chair, and I said, a couple weeks ago, I was moving clothes in my closet, and I found some money hidden there. And she dropped her head and said, that would have been my mother. My mother always hid money. I pulled out this bundle, and I said, Judy, this belongs to you. And her mouth dropped open, and she just went, no, it belongs to you. I said, "No, Judy, this money belongs to you." Tears started streaming down her cheeks. She said, "You know, I am here alone right now, and that is very rare that my husband and kids are gone. But just before you came, I walked out to the family room, and I was missing my mom so bad that I took her picture off the wall, and I was holding it. And I just looked up to heaven, and I said, 'God, let me know my mom is okay.'" Then we were both crying. I'm just still stunned to this day that God now knows what we need right now. And that he knew that in that moment she'd be walking out to that room because what Judy cared about most was where her mother was. And I believe that there is an eternity, a heaven and a hell. And the only thing that we can take into eternity with us are people.